Hello and thank you for watching. So as you can see already today, I've put in the hinges on the bonnet, for the bonnet. They needed bolted in, so there was alarm panel underneath there that needed to be removed, and on that side the DME harness needs to be sort of moved as well to allow to get into the bolts that hold that in place. Stays are dead easy just to pop into place after it's on. They're already fully expanded, and you just have to lift the hinge to the right place and it'll pop on. So I had to do that first before I go ahead to do the main task today, which is to replace the automatic transmission fluid, just because well, once I started changing the ATF fluid, once I've filled it up initially, I need to run the car for a little bit, top up again, just check the fluid level is correct. It says I'll need 6.5 litres, well, 6.5 litres for a change and 7 if the pipes are empty as well, and mine will be because obviously I've replaced the radiator. So I've got 7 litres here. I'd actually initially put 1 litre in. I'd had a litre, I thought I would just top it up, and it was only once I was topping it up that the thought came, actually I better just check and see if it had actually been changed, because the colour I was putting in wasn't the same as the colour I'd seen drain out. Discovered that although it's ticked for maintenance in the service schedule, it just before 40,000 miles, that didn't cover the ATF change. There wasn't one done on the car, so didn't seem to the point me fully filling up the ATF fluid to find that the filter hadn't been changed, and I wasn't quite sure how much I was going to end up putting in, so I might find that I was replacing most of it anyway. So I've got a filter kit, I've got some gloves here which I'll be using when I'm changing it. Get a replacement filter, O-ring which fits on the housing that holds the filter, crush washer for the drain plug as well. I know it's a 10mm sort of hex socket that's needed to take the cap that's this for the inspection where you fill. I'm assuming it's probably the same one for the drain as well, so I'll get under the car and check that out. Obviously got an old basin to collect the oil initially that comes out, and I've got marks on it for effectively how you know, how many litres I've measured previously. I used this for other stuff before, so I can see exactly, you know, gauge how much has actually come out. But it doesn't really matter anyway, because I'm told I feel like I'll need to fill all the 7 litres. So what I can't quite work out is, if they say it takes 7 litres on a you know, fill from, you know, empty, why you have to go through the particular process of heating it up to about 40 degrees and then checking that it's just flowing out. You know, surely if it's got a fill capacity, that's it. So I'll follow the process anyway, but I am expecting it to take the full 7 litres, and that to be, you know, just exactly what's required. So first step is to get the oil drained. I'm not quite sure how much I'll be able to photograph underneath. It's a bit, access is quite restricted without having a lift, but there is space to get under there. I'm not sure what the what's needed to take the filter off, so again I'll need to have a look under there and see what it is that's needed. I'm thinking that, as I can only find the torque setting for the you know, tightening up the cap for that, and the inspection there 45 Newton meters. I can't find what the torque setting is supposed to be for the cover for the filter. It didn't look as if you know, when I saw it getting done on somebody else's video, I couldn't really tell what they were doing. There was no mention of what the torque setting was. So I think what I'll do is I'll use some tape, mark off the housing just where it's sitting relative to you know, the cover, where it's sitting to the sort of main gearbox, and from that I should be able to judge once I've tightened it back up. I've tightened it back to the same position, and therefore crushing the washer to the same amount. So enough of that for now. The first step is obviously get the oil drained. So under the car at the moment, you can see the filter here. I've already put a bit of tape onto it. Far end here is a 17mm socket. I've measured it. The moving back into the centre, you can see the drain plug. Getting the right thing. If the camera could focus. Drain plugs in the. Sorry, there's the drain plug. So that's where obviously the old fluid is going to come out, and if I can get there, you can see the where the pipes come in, take it to the cooler, and there's the inspection on that side where I'll be filling it. So this is all sort of level with calipers, and it's behind that on sort of on the car and on the UK passenger side. Well, you can see the difference between the old filter and the new filter. Obviously it does its job in cleaning stuff out. So that's the old O-ring off as well. That's just come off the side of the housing, so I'll pop that back on, pop the new filter on. I'm still letting it drain at the moment, so I'll leave it to drain further. It's still draining out the bottom of the pan, although the filter seems to have, anything that was coming out of that stopped dripping, so I can pop the filter housing back in place. And by putting the mark on, it seems to be quite good, because effectively once I got it turned twice, it was then really easily to turn by hand, so I know I can tighten it up, and then it's got another 2 rotations to go to be fully back in place. I topped up the transmission fluid. It was only taking about 4.5 litres before it started dripping out from the inspection hole. So I started the car thinking I might have a big air bubble in it or something like that, and then it's taken another 500 millilitres, which matches what I was expecting for filling the pipes to fill in the radiator. If I'm not quite sure why I'm sort of a couple of litres short of what they say the fill is going to be, so I'll probably have to do a bit more research on that before really driving the car, just to confirm that I've filled it properly. The problem I've got is, of course, it was leaking before, after the accident, so how much I took out is not necessarily a guide for how much I would expect to refill, which is obviously what could normally be gauged if I was just doing a service on it. So say more thought required, but as soon as I was able to get some assistance today, I did get my bonnet fitted. I've obviously got to do some adjustments on it, because on round this side, it's looking a bit close up here, and it's just not quite sitting centrally on the headlights. It's just slightly too far across to the driver's side, so I need to do a little bit of adjustment with the hinges, just to adjust where the nuts are actually located there. I should be able to sort of rotate it around enough that it's going to sit squarely. I haven't fitted any of the bits underneath to make sure it was going to clip in place, but at least having it on means it's no longer sitting in the garage, and it starts to actually make it look like a complete car. Obviously just sitting the wheel arch liner in there at the moment as well, just to keep it out of the way. But yeah, it is getting there, but there's obviously more work required. So I need to consider what my next move is with the ATF, and a couple of other things to ponder as well. So I've had a bit of a look at some of the codes that exist. I need to just check them out. I think they could just be because the car was run when there was no coolant, and it's obviously detected that. So I'll probably go for clearing them and then restarting it and see if they disappear. And I'll check out what any other codes that are there. I've seen some for the lights, but I think they'll obviously now be resolved. So thoughts required in my next step, but as ever for today, thanks very much for watching.